Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something that we haven't talked about in a while. We're going to talk about our chicken coop and our chickens. But first of all, if you're not a subscriber to our channel, I ask you to go hit that subscribe button. Then we're going to get right into talking about our chicken coop and our chickens. Pen and our chicken coop. Now my chicken coop, we'll take you around and let you look at it. This chicken coop was built entirely out of pallets. Now I say entirely, there's a few boards that's not pallets. That'll be like these right here on the corner. Those are not pallets, but everything else is made out of recycled pallets. Now we have the nest boxes here on the outside of the pen, so you do not have to go into the pen. You go into the pen right there to get inside the coop. But to get the eggs and check the eggs, you just come to the outside. And you can check the nest boxes. We have 5 nest boxes. That one's got 2 eggs in it. Now I like having the nest boxes on the outside of the coop. That way you do not have to go into the coop to get the eggs out of the box. That's one feature that I wanted on the chicken coop when I built the chicken coop. Talking about building the chicken coop, I'll put a link to the video where we built the coop. You can go look at that. I also have a playlist. It's got, I think it's called All Things Chicken. I'll try to put that in here so you can go and look. There's one of our hens now. As of right now, we only have 3 hens, and we're planning on doing something totally different with our chicken flock. We're getting a new breed of chicken. That'll be coming up. That's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell what kind of chicken we're going to get. Right now, all we have is 2 barred rocks and 1 Rhode Island Red. We'll be getting our chicks hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks, but before we do that, we've got to get our coop ready for the chicks, and in doing that, we're going to try something a little bit different with the chicks this year. Normally, last year I put chicks in a small brooder. This year I'm going to make a brooder inside the chicken coop because I only have 3 chickens, 3 hens right now. So I think I can put them inside the coop and in a separate spot and make that work out. Put a light on them in there, and that'll be fine, I think. So, but like I say, first thing we got to do is get the chicken coop ready. And what I've done the last few years is I've added sawdust, kind of like a deep litter system. Actually haven't let it get deep, especially this year because I only have 3 hens. And but every so often I'll come in here and add just the wood chips to the litter on the floor. But I want to clean all that out, get it cleaned out. Got a couple of repairs that I've got to make. I've used these poles for roost poles, and I'm going to build a different roost pole or a different roost system this year. Also, I've got my no waste feed bucket here. I'll put a link to that. You can go watch that. That works out great. But what I've got to do before I bring the baby chicks in, my plan is after I get the coop cleaned out, I'm going to, on this side over here, I'm going to build just a run down at the bottom, a small coop that'll go from one side to the other. Now this coop is 8 feet by 8 feet. The pallets, you can see it's built out of pallets. All I done was I stacked pallets, it's 4-foot pallets. I stacked them on top of one another, made the walls. Then at the top, this is 8 foot over here, and I cut it down to 7 foot on this side. So my roof's got a 1 foot slope on it, and it drains real well. can see the nest boxes. There's 2 eggs that they laid today. But what I thought about doing is, this will probably be a 2-part, maybe even a 3-part video. But just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with the coop. And first thing I got to do is get the coop cleaned out. Once I get it all cleaned out, then I'll come in here, make repairs, and build a brooder. Caden's little dog Ranger came in and scared the Rhode Island Red up to the roost. Anyway, we're gonna get busy cleaning this thing out. So first things, get it cleaned out. I've got it pretty well cleaned out around the corners, everywhere that needs to be cleaned. Got a big pile of chicken litter. We're going to put that in the compost pile. You can see it's pretty well cleaned. Now that I have it cleaned out, what I'd like to do, my plan is, across this back wall is 8 foot. So I'm going to come out from that wall probably about 2.5 to 3 foot. Somewhere in there. I'm gonna put me a divider across here. Put me a divider across here somewhere. Put me a top on it, and I'm gonna keep the baby chicks that we get in there. That way I can put a light on them. They'll be separate from the other chickens, but be in the chicken coop, and we'll keep them there. That way they'll be introduced to the other chicks as they grow older, and that way when I turn them out of the brooder into the chicken coop, maybe I won't have a hard time introducing them to the other 3 hens. So that's the plan. And but today I'm gonna finish cleaning this litter out, and I want to show you a little bit about the chicken coop. Next video will be probably of us building the chicken brooder inside the chicken coop. You can see in my chicken coop here, we're in the chicken pen. This is a chicken coop. Like I say, it's 8 foot across, 8 foot across, and it's built completely out of recycled pallets. The way I done that, like I showed you on the inside, this is pallets here. This is 4 foot pallet, 4 foot pallet, 4 foot pallet, 4 foot pallet, and I just stacked them up on the bottom run all the way around. When I got to this side and started back, I offset the pallet, so when I went back around with the top pallets, it overlapped the joint in the bottom pallets. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me see if I can find one. Here you go. Okay, right here, here's a pallet. Here's a pallet. There's the joint between the 2 pallets. So when I started coming back, I offset it, so the joint between these 2 pallets is right here. So I have a joint here and a joint here. That way it tied in, and it's keeps the wall stable. The only thing that I had to buy in this chicken coop is the rafters up here that you see and the tin. That's the only thing that I had to buy. Rest of it, and I did use I had some scrap plywood that I put around the bottom. That's just to keep chicken litter from getting up in the pallet. I done that all the way around, and then I had some scrap plywood that I used for the inside dividers on the nest boxes. Everything else, I think, pretty much come from recycled pallets. This chicken coop, I built it for I think less than $100. And like I said, the only thing that it cost me really was for the nails and the lumber and the tin for the top. Everything else was recycled pallets. And on the outside of the chicken coop, I took the pallets apart. You can see this is the wood from the pallet. Took them apart. Each pallet I took apart, and I think they call that shiplapping. I'm not sure, but anyway, whatever it is, I just started at the bottom, then I overlapped about an inch or a half an inch on each piece and just put it all the way up. I done all 4 sides like that. You can see the back. Done this side like that. The front. Still haven't put a door on it. Now, we live in the South. It does not get real cold here, and I may build a door. I don't know. I've had it for 3 or 4 years now, and it works fine without a door. Never lost a chicken to a predator inside the coop. I think I've lost 2 or 3 from hawks out while they're out on the yard, but nothing from the inside. This is the nest boxes that I have on the outside. I have the pen where they can run inside there. Someone asked me about the challenges that I had building the pallet chicken coop. Some of the challenges, getting here where the sun won't be in my eyes. Some of the challenges in building the chicken coop would be tearing the pallets apart. That was probably the biggest challenge that I had, and it turned out I learned the easy way to do it. The best way to do it is don't try to save the whole pallet or the whole board in a pallet when you're taking them apart. If you'll cut the end off about that much, just right behind the nail on each end of the pallet, just cut them off front and back. The only thing you have to do then is take the nails out of the center board, and you're only wasting 2 inches or 2.5 inches off of each pallet, which is not much. And if you're not careful, you'll bust up more pallets trying to save that 2 inches than by just cutting it off to begin with. So this is our chicken coop from Recycle Pallets. Have a video. I told you I put a link to that. Watch that video and you can see how we put the pallet chicken coop together. And it's a low-cost way of building the chicken coop out of recycled pallets. Hope you like this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
Well, life on the farm's kinda laid back. Ain't much an old country boy like me can't hack. Early to rise, early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, a simple kind of life never did me no harm. Raising me a family and working on a farm. Days are all filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy.
When the work's all